Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine Live. I am here to work on sketch number 3. I have to make sure to keep up with these as we get later in the challenge. Sketch number 3 from the Creative Memories virtual crop that's going on this weekend. And I'm going to show you my interpretation of this sketch using our Full Moon Fun paper pack. So let's get to it. Oh, they switched. And here we go, getting all these buttons pushed, making sure I can keep track here. Here we go. Here is our sketch. So this sketch was really kind of busy. And I looked at it and I thought, yeah, you can cut 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch strips and do all this fancy stuff, or you can grab out your Full Moon Fun pack and use some of the stripe pages that are already in with the paper, work with the flow of the paper, and still create a really fun layout. And then I decided, since we're using so many stripes on the one side of the page, we're going to go ahead and add stripes on our mats as well. So those are the pages I picked for our base. I have this really cute haunted mansion with the bats coming off of it page. And I am actually flipping the layout so I can keep my haunted mansion on my page. And you're going to see what we're going to do. So I cut 4 1.5 inch by 12 inch strips. And then I turned 2 of them and I cut 8 3 inch by 1.5 inch strips. And I took 1 and I cut 6 inch by 1.5 inch strips. And if you screenshot when I hold the sketch up again, you will have all those measurements. We're going to go ahead and start sticking these strips onto our page. And I'm going to start at the bottom corner here and work my way up and down from the top and the bottom, because that is what is going to make life easier. So that's what I'm going to do. But even with these 1.5 inch strips, it's still a lot of strips to work with here, but I kind of liked taking this little bit of a shortcut. And you could make these a little bit less wide. When I looked at it after, I thought, originally I thought the sketch looked like the strips ran about 4 inches into the page. And mine is actually going to run 4.5, but you're going to see we're going to cover up part of these stripes. So I didn't feel too bad about running a little bit more over, but that's all, that's 1/3 of your page. So if you don't want it to run quite so far, adjust the math just a little bit. I'm not the mathiest of advisors. So if you want to adjust that, go for it. It's your page. You can do what you want to on your page. I just like to inspire you all to get paper crafting here a little bit and maybe try out one of these layouts by making it a little bit easier and less intimidating overall. So you saw I put 2 of my 3 inch by 1.5 inch on the top, and on the bottom I took my 2 6 inch by 1.5. I ran those up and down the page here, and then I took my 12 inch by 1.5 and I ran it just right next to it. Now I'm going to take my last 4 of the 1.5 by 3 inch strips, and we're going to run it in here, kind of covering up this other one. I guess we could have technically just done one of these over here. So yeah, I tend to be frugal with my paper. I didn't think that one out as well as I usually do, and I'm not going to go ahead and pull it off now just because it's already there with the permanent tape runner. So that one's staying, but you can learn from my mistake and make the correction on your own if you would like. I will hold up my sketch again here in just a moment. Here we go. So that way you can see how I essentially mimicked the pattern, but I'm also using the stripes on the page to mimic what is in the sketch, because you can see how I have the one 12-inch running this way. I have my two 6-inch ones over here, and then these are all the 3-inch strips. But these are offset, so it looks like it's running a little bit longer, just giving a little bit more of an illusion. And, you know, like I said, I try to make these things easier on myself. For our mats, which I forgot to tell you all earlier, I have two 4x6 mats of the striped paper. I have one 4x4 that I'm not sure, this might wind up being a journal box, and it might wind up being another photo mat. We'll wind up seeing when I go to put pictures on this page. And then I had this little 2-inch by 2-inch scrap, and I thought, you know what, we're going to use this to pop up a sticker on. It just brings all the colors back together, and it kind of also frames out this corner of our layout. So I'm going to go ahead and put it down right now real quick. And you'll see where it brings in the greens, and then it's going to bring in some of these oranges. And then my sticker has some black in it. Even though they have theirs up higher, I liked mine more in this bottom corner, because I'm going to put one of my photo mats over. So that way we can keep our haunted house mostly intact on our page here. You can see I'm just going to run this up and over a little bit. This is going to run over here. And then our other one is just going to run right on top here. So again, you know, I don't usually layer quite so much paper, but I've been really challenging myself to this particular virtual crop to try to help get at least one more picture on each of these layouts. This one is going to wind up with, you know, potentially 3, because I'm using the paper that has the Haunted Mansion, and you kind of want to see that when you have it on the page. But you also want to get your pictures on the page too. Sometimes it's a little bit more challenging to figure out, when you have these really beautifully designed pages, where to put your pictures, where to put all of your embellishments. So there's our mats. There is our little area to pop up our sticker. This is the sticker I picked, the Trick or Treat. I've already put foam squares on it because I had a little bit of extra time preparing for the live stream while the timer was running. So I just went ahead and put my foam squares on already. I also went ahead and put foam squares on the Boo banner from the sticker sheet for the Full Moon Fun, and we're going to run that up here. And I don't want to cover up the bats too much, so I'm kind of going to offset this just a little bit. I'm covering up one of the bats, but you can still see it through the two here. I'll hold that up in just a moment for you. And then we also had these 3 just super adorable ghosts. They're kind of hard to see. I'll put them on the page and you'll be able to see them there. But we have to make sure we get our eyes and our mouth out of these things. So I'm going to use my multi-purpose tool for that. And if they stick to my fingers or if they pop up, that's okay. But you can see now that the eyes and the mouth are out of there. So here's our first ghosty here. Our second one, yep, that one's actually sticking to my finger. Our, well, second ghosty is going to come off here. Let me see if I can get these popped out a little bit nicer. But we have little pop outs for the eyes and for the mouth. And so the second guy, I think, is going to go up here. And then our third one, well, I guess it doesn't have to be a guy ghost. It could be a girl ghost. I don't know. Whatever you want it to be, it can be. So here's our third one. And let's see if this one can go. Should we have him going up, hiding in the bottom, or maybe just hanging out over here? So there we go. I think this is a fun way to make use of highlighting our photos here on this page, keeping our Haunted Mansion intact, and still following the sketch number 3 from the virtual crop. Here we go. Let me hold that so you all can screenshot if you want to get the dimensions there. And I think we did a pretty good job because, again, we have this area where you could put an embellishment cluster, but since we already have the photo on the page with the Haunted Mansion, I just decided let's leave that, work with it, and still get our pictures on the page. And if you want to do some extra journaling and not use this as a journal box, you could easily add another strip of the lined paper here. So I have this little scrap that I had left over, and I just think it would be fun to actually use the lined paper that we have, cut it down, put that extra strip in here for your journaling, or you could even just journal up in here or down here and add whatever you want to add to your page. That's it. Until next time.